Hello everybody, my name is Liannoy. I'm kind of dev lead in the Zara team. It's a small team from Lviv. Sorry for my language, I'm not an English speaker very much, but I will try to do my best to make a decent presentation here. I wanted to introduce a bit my team. We are mainly working with Drupal, working with hard projects, mainly troubleshooting crappy projects after abandoned teams, and moving projects outside of crisis. So it's like our main pitch for customers, and in this kind of stuff we are doing pretty great. And for the last couple of years, we dealt with a pretty big amount of projects based on commerce and relying on a lot of customizations. You know, like projects for I don't know, business cards builder sites, projects where you can order custom pizza, or projects where or sites where you can do a customized photo album, or do a lot more. It's pretty common thing for printing in the industry and so on. So the projects where you need to choose a lot of stuff. You just need to choose the color, you need to choose a size, choose a number of pages, upload your image, upload your design, put some comments, and just add the stuff to the cart and go on. So we gained some decent experience there, and just wanted to share it with you. Yeah. So customizable products in Drupal commerce. I mainly will speak about Drupal 8, but this experience can be pretty easily used on Drupal 7 as well, because it's the same thing. And actually a few examples will be from Drupal 7, I guess. Mainly I will describe three approaches. To warm up, I will start from the easiest one, and probably everybody who works with Drupal commerce is familiar with commerce attributes and how it can be used, and all this stuff. The best thing about this approach, you don't need any coding. Any site builder can do this, can just do the configuration, watch the tutorial, and just take his brain, warm up, and make the stuff happen. Yes, it is available out of the box in Drupal commerce, especially in Drupal 8. It's very good documented. Commerce guys did a great job putting all this information on their site, so you can just follow the instructions and bam, everything is ready for your work. But this is not really a builder, because you cannot do all the kind of customization. You can just choose from a huge amount of pre-customized products. You can just choose products with a given set of attributes. So technically you can implement almost everything, but the more changes, the more variations of products you have, the more products you really need to create. And here we go into variations hell. So if you have, I will use always pizza as an example, because I think everybody used it. Everybody used the pizza builder site. For example, if you have 4 different attributes, you'll need to, I actually didn't calculate the proper number, but I guess about 54 variations. You'll need to create 54 products, and you will need to maintain this stuff, and it really becomes a hell. When you need to slightly change a product price, and in Ukraine it happens pretty often when you need to change a price of things because of inflation, so just it becomes pretty hard for content managers just to follow these things up. So that was the first approach. Second approach we used in a couple of projects. I'm calling this approach of cloning, but you can call it whatever you want. It just mostly it relies on a custom code. You just gently writing custom forms for each product. You just keep creating values. You just create products, put them in a cart, and go on. Actually, it's not much to say describing this approach, because technically you can achieve everything you need because it's custom code. You can do whatever you want. No, you cannot. It's pretty hard to maintain because you create a new custom form for each slightly different kind of product, and you need to always keep this code up to date. And the customer cannot change almost anything. So he cannot admin the builder form. In this case, database of products become really overloaded because we created previously a copy of each product, of each customized product, because it has like a huge amount of possible variations. So we needed to create each one a decent copy and put it into a cart. So eventually, in a year of usage of the site, the database was flooded with all products created by customers. It was very hard to manage, and it's not really a Drupal way because you cannot reuse the code very much because it's custom written. It cannot be published because it's this kind of thing. So this is I want to describe this. During the first iteration, we used mainly the just the custom code products. On the first iteration, we tried to move a bit forward and tried to clone the products. So we just pre-configure the template one with all possible options, with all possible things that customer may select. And builder form was extending this template product, so you can just so customer could select options from a template. It was a bit better to maintain because site admin at least could maintain the products and could switch the options. But the database was still overloaded, and it's still not a Drupal way because you cannot totally rely on it. You cannot change everything from admin panel, and site builders obviously cannot use it. So finally, so we just solved one of problems out of 3, and it's not very good way. Yeah. Well, this approach contains at least one advantage. From all this database of customized flooded products, you can just select something and you can publish it, and it will appear in catalog of existing products, because technically all products are the same and you can just publish it. So, for example, one of our customers, he's selling words built in frames using photos. I'm not sure if anybody likes this, but if someone buy a frame with a word workflow, you can just find this in a order, find this product and publish it, and it will appear in like pre-built databases. But it's not very good advantage here. Finally, because of this like hell of supporting different type of builders and trying to keep everything together, we decided to reinvent the wheel. Because we have a lot of such kind of projects and we need to support them all, and like each one of projects has different solution, and it's breaking us apart. So it's kind of just a concept, it's not a ready to use solution, so I just described the main idea here. The workflow is pretty it's pretty obvious and pretty easy. So you see the catalog of products, you choose one, you decide whether to add existing one or to create your own. After that, you build your own if you want to, preview the results, and add this thing to the cart. Yeah, basic architecture of this concept is again pretty easy. The architecture of modules, just product builder which contains main entity and describes all the backend stuff. Product builder preview module which allows just to extend the previous one and allows add the preview component to the form, so you can preview the results in real time when you change anything, any variation. And preview editor module which will appear eventually by someone, if someone created. It's needed just to be able to edit preview in a preview template in an admin panel as a site builder or content admin. The architecture of relations is pretty easy as well. So product variation remains the same thing as it is now in e-commerce. Product builder is a separate entity which referenced by a line item and allows just keeps the relation when the user adds stuff to the cart. So it allows not to duplicate all this product variation stuff, and doesn't make your database bloated with products which are not very commonly used. The most important thing in this product builder is preparing of variables for a preview, because the most, from my experience, the most hard thing for front-end developers in case of such kind of product builders, you have huge amount of you have huge amount of variables which are just injected into the twig, and you need to deal with this stuff, and they are not really useful and unified, because each because of the huge amount of relations in it, especially in case of entity references and all this stuff. So as a concept, we decided to have recursive processing. So in case you have in a product builder form, in case you have some entity references, it processes the all fields recursively until it gets to the bottom of the references. So, for example, if you have in a product builder, if you have a reference to a field topping which contains all the possible toppings for a pizza, and in the case if this field contains another reference to the background which you eventually need to use for a preview, it will process it until the bottom and get all this chain of variables and put it into the template eventually. Also you can also this variables processing contains has processing for the form component. So in the preview you can you finally can use the forms itself. Just example of template, I will come back to it later. So just want to come up with the preview. In case you want, probably everybody, you are not hungry now. I can continue this. So the main idea of a builder here is in a variation you have field background for a pizza base. You have a taxonomy term with toppings, and each one contains field background with these toppings. And in the previous template you can see how it overlaid again. in the end it works like kind of this thing. So you can just switch templates, and it just refreshes pizza preview in any kind of product preview on a sidebar, and that's it. The main idea is that to build this preview, you just need to edit. You just need to edit this template. That's it. You don't need to put any custom logic in there, and it will work fine out of the box if it won't crash. Yeah, and to make it work, you can just put whatever fields you want, because it's just a regular Drupal entity without any additional stuff. You can play with it around. Yet this thing has a lot of challenges to solve. Technically, you should be able to select like tomatoes twice if you're just a big fan of tomatoes or Italian or whatever. It's not possible with usual Drupal fields, but from architecture perspective, you can do this just by extending field types and go on, just create your region. So you need. One of the challenges, we need to handle image styles for image fields, because currently it's just regular URL to the image. We don't have any processing for now. And finally, we need to integrate rules for price calculation. It didn't happen yet. I wanted to describe the main pros of this idea of using this approach. The main advantage is using of the whole ecosystem of Drupal modules, which is already there, and it works just fine. So, in case if your customer wants or your project needs to make some fields conditional, you can just use conditional fields module, and it will apply because it's usual entity form. It plays pretty fine with almost all types of fields. If you create a new type of field, you can just create another plugin which will describe field processing for a preview, and that's it. Then the biggest advantage is such kind of products built using this product builder approach can be easily customized by content admins, or at least site builders, because you can use fields, you can use modules from ecosystem, you can just edit a template and go. You publish a product which works. It works fine with the first described approach. When I described the first approach with no coding about commerce attributes, it does play well with it. Yeah, just common entity. And obviously you can easily just by a set of fields made it work with pre-existing products. You can just buy it without customization. It works out of the box. The main disadvantages of this approach, this stuff is still a concept. We just decided what we can describe, or what experience we have, and we can describe on a DrupalCon, and we just DrupalCamp, and we just build this thing for fun, and decided to integrate it in our customers' websites, and it worked well. And that's the main disadvantage. This thing is not yet tested, and it's not stable yet for massive use on outside projects. And the biggest disadvantage is the absence of documentation of this thing. There is no documentation for concept, unfortunately. Yeah. Just as since this experiment played well for us, for our customers, and I've outlined a pretty simple roadmap for our further steps, which we are going to follow. From the previous slide, I said that we're gonna integrate rules for price calculation, and we are gonna build template editor for product builder preview, because currently you need to edit, tweak files, and it's not very good in the common way for content admins to deal with problems. Yeah, one of items I want to achieve, we're going to build a user-friendly interface for rules, actually for price calculations, because current rules UI is like not very good for end users. Yeah, we need documentation. We need to document this thing hard, and the main idea is to build a library of ready-to-use products, just to make it easier to start with a template code or template configuration for people who need to just launch their craft products site easily. Obviously, it's going to be open source, otherwise it doesn't make sense for me. Yeah, just as a few links, we have this site as a demo, just a simple Drupal installation with just simple wizard, and that's it. And this concept is published on GitHub. There will no sense to publish it on Drupal.org since it is not finished yet, in my opinion, and it requires a lot of things to do. But still, if someone needs it, you can use it as a boilerplate to just come up with it. Yeah, and it just needed to have a sort of conclusion here. This thing is not a panacea, but when you try to deal with a huge amount of common problems for such kind of sites, you just try to find out a unified solution. And I will be very pleased if someone joins us here in such kind of thing, and share your experience in building some such things. So, guys, do Drupal, do open source. Do you have any questions?
Hello. Okay. Hello. What do you think? Maybe I missed that. What do you think about special requests from customer like pizza without cheese? There is any possibility that your builder can manage that?
What
about special customer requests that cannot be in, that are not normal, like customer wants pizza without cheese. There is any possible way to handle it?
Yeah, I guess so. This example is just to describe the main approach.
Do you think about it? About that special case?
Yes, as a case you described, we can just easily create a separate field like product, like topping exclusion or component exclusion, and just add the different taxonomy with stuff a person may choose to exclude from a pizza, and it will work fine the same way. So it's more like. Yes, it's possible. At least in my head. It's hard to describe, but yeah.
Okay, thanks.